I'm going to bounce off one aspect of this Epstein story, but I don't have notes with me, so I don't. This is going to be off the cuff again. But an aspect came past me again yesterday, and this is an interesting little take. What if we find out? So, if you don't, just a real basics of the case. Back in 2005, 6, 7, he was arrested for child pornography and child trafficking, and prosecuted down in southern Florida, and they cut him a deal that had him serve like 13 months, 15 months of basically it amounted to house arrest. He was arrested, but he had work release every day, so he would just go at night to the prison and sleep there, but then he'd go to his office anyways. And in the deal, it was worked out that he wouldn't have to rat out any of his co-conspirators. Like no other name had to be raised. It was and it was a horrific case. It was like, tens of girls. The case didn't get a lot of media play, and it was never really scrutinized. Now, the guy who cut the deal, his last name is Acosta. He works now for President Trump, I think, a labor secretary. So there's of course a lot of speculation, like this guy is tied to Epstein, has ties to Trump through Acosta and through some, I guess Trump rode on a plane, one of the planes that Epstein owned. He flew it from Florida to New York one time with Epstein's son, and everyone's saying, well, that puts him in the flight logs. Got it. Okay. Anyways, going to Acosta, the labor secretary, when he was asked, like, why was this deal cut, such a sweetheart deal, he made reference to the idea that Epstein was he was told that there was intelligence operations going on, and he should just, quietly don't ask a lot of questions and cut the deal. So what happens if we find out that Epstein was an intelligence asset? Like, we either worked for the CIA or worked with the CIA, either was a CIA agent or was an asset of theirs. How does that make the American public feel about the intelligence services? Once again, someone had said that you have to stop thinking of the intelligence service, the CIA, as an American outfit. It's a global outfit that has controllers that are not tied to government. They supersede government and go right to people with a lot of money and power, which is not. I said before, our government officials are kind of the managers of the McDonald's, so they're not the owners of the building. So if that comes out, like, I don't know if that's the case, but what if that comes out? We'll play the what if game again. If that comes out, how does that, like, what should we do about our intelligence services? What should this administration or just the American people, like, turn to the intelligence services and say, like, Kennedy had made threats to break apart the CIA into thousands of pieces, and then Kennedy happened, right? So, and then it was, what's his name? The guy from New York, who said about President Trump and his taking on the intelligence services, that the intelligence services have 8 ways from Sunday to wreck you. Basically, a threat. They like, the president shouldn't try to take down the intelligence services because they can wreck you. And that was Speaker of the House? No. Yeah. Oh gosh, his name's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember his name. Anyways, you'll recognize he's got that very, very distinct voice. We should be very concerned for citizens, right? That there's an intelligence service, whether it's run by the American government or has now gotten so powerful that it now runs outside of the American government. We should be very concerned about that, and we should do whatever it takes to take it down. Like, we should dismantle it, right? Not to say that anyone who works in those agencies, not every person who works there is necessarily a bad person, but I can certainly see where, again, the people who rise to the top of these places generally end up being the most vicious people, because they don't mind being cutthroat to rise to the top. It's very interesting. If that ends up being the case, if that comes out and becomes public, I think my hope is that the American people will back the idea of dismantling it, right? There's a guy named Robert David Steele who talks about that we don't really need clandestine intelligence services anymore. Most everything you need to find is open source. It's out there. You just have to know where to dig. Is that really true? I don't know. I mean, it feels like every country is still going to have spies. So if they're going to have spies, we probably should still have spies too. But maybe start from fresh, right? I like the idea of renewal. We cut, just like the way you turn over a garden. At the end of the season, you gotta chop up everything that's in there and feed it back into the soil and start all over again. I kind of feel like that's the way we should be doing it with some of these larger institutions. We'll see. All right, that's my my rant for the day, and I'm gonna get some food and get off to work. I'm sitting in the parking lot right now, but I gotta wait for the store to open. Oh wait, see, I always do that. I stop too soon. Another concept that came in front of me that I thought was worth chasing down. Maybe I can get some momentum behind this idea. Why not have every member of Congress audited by an independent agency every couple of years, every 2 years, let's say? Certainly, if they're in the Senate, every the people in Congress and their immediate family audited every 2 years to watch out for misappropriation of funds, whether they're getting kickbacks from some foreign aid package or from some corporate donations, that kind of thing. I am down with the idea that publicly, sunshine, like I believe that open books is probably the best for transparency, for accountability. The idea that if you're elected to Congress, you've been one terms of service is that you get audited every 2 years by an independent. I'm not talking about the IRS audit. I'm talking like an independent agency does an audit, and it's not to kind of do anything more than publish. I suppose it could be fines too, but I'm down with just being. But it has to be, everything's published openly, and then we'll let watchdog groups hoot and holler, and that will help to inform who's on the side of right and who's getting kickbacks. I think that could be part of any kind of real campaign finance reform or campaign reform. All right, that's just another idea. Hey, I didn't say it before, but if you like this video, like and share. And sharing is actually, let's see, if I had to put them in order, my favorite, the things that help me out the most. Likes, from what I understand, helps the video get seen by more people and more recommendations. So likes are super important. Subscribing is great because I love to say, look, I got 13 subscribers now. I'm very happy with that. And then sharing is good too because it kind of, you would hope it would get you some of the other things. In order of preference, I'm going to say all. Sure, I'm going to be greedy. Can you do them all? I appreciate it. Thanks.